On March 16th, 2010, ArenaNet began a viral marketing campaign for Guild Wars. For 3 years, since the release of the expansion Eye of the North, the game had seen no large content updates, but that was about to change. QR codes were handed out at GDC and Emerald City Comic Con, leading players to cryptic web pages that hinted at something big coming their way. Players had to translate the old Ascalonian language, decipher clues, and find secret web pages until finally they came upon an image. And with that, a new update came to Guild Wars. One that would bring war. Hi guys, and welcome to episode 0 of Guild Wars Beyond. So, why is this episode 0? Well, because this episode, we're not actually going to be looking at specifically the new Guild Wars Beyond content. We're just going to be doing 2 quests that sort of set the stage for Guild Wars Beyond, the first part of Guild Wars Beyond, the War in Kryta. So, and the other reason that I wanted this to be episode 0 is these are 2 quests we've actually already seen and I've already done coverage of, except they were right in the middle of prophecies. I explained that they had relevance sort of later on, but I didn't really, we didn't have much context. We hadn't already seen all of Eye of the North. We didn't know what was going on, and it's like smack bang right there in the middle of prophecies. I didn't want to just give people a lame link to a crappy low quality video I might have done ages ago last year, so I figured, you know what, I'll just do it again, and I'll also show you guys off the marketing campaign that ArenaNet did as well, and that'll be sort of our way to sort of introduce us to what we might be dealing with at the start of this next campaign of Guild Wars that was released for free. So yeah, we're at Fisherman's Haven. We're also on Matt Greenspring because, of course, I've already completed the quest on Peter all that time ago. So I picked Matt because, you know, he's got the better heroes. And yeah, so this is Fisherman's Haven. This is a place in Kryta. When you originally came here in the Prophecy storyline, this is what was happening. And what I'll do is I'll just give like a brief overview of the main key points. Okay, so we were refugees from Ascalon. Our nation had fallen. This was Ascalon over here. We crossed the Shiver Peaks to find refuge in Kryta, where we found it. In Kryta, what had happened because of the Char invasion, when the Char invaded both Ascalon and Kryta at the same time, Or got blown up, Ascalon got blown up basically, but Kryta was saved for some reason. The royalty in Kryta fled. They fled, and these quests we're about to do will sort of explain a little bit more of that. The royalty here had fled, so the king and queen gone out of the picture, and in their wake came a new organisation, these people called the White Mantle, and these became like the ruling party of Kryta, and these people essentially through worship of their unseen gods saved Kryta from the Char. So everybody started worshipping these unseen gods and took on board basically the White Mantle's religion. So when we got to Kryta, we also did the same. We joined the White Mantle, and we were like, hey, you guys are pretty cool. However, in the storyline of prophecies, we found out that we then found out that the White Mantle had actually been sacrificing innocent people on a bloodstone in a jungle. So we were like, wow, how can they be doing that? So we joined up with a rebel faction who didn't like the White Mantle, that some people called the Shining Blade. Now, the War in Kryta, this upcoming campaign, the start of it is to do with a huge war in Kryta between the White Mantle and the Shining Blade. So basically what happened, we came through, other stuff happened in the Prophecies plot that's not really relevant. We came here to Fisherman's Haven at one point, and here we found a man from the Lion Guard of the guards of the capital city of Kryta called Lion's Arch. We found a man here called Watchman Arad, who had something to tell us about the royal family. So that's what this quest line's about. It introduces one of the, if not the most important character in the War in Kryta. So yeah, I figured we'd do this again and see how it goes. So Watchman Arad, hey buddy. So he says, the Lion Guard must act swiftly if we're to wrest control of Kryta from the hands of the White Mantle. So if you remember me saying ages ago, actually, these 2 quests are offered at the same time, but you're supposed to do the Royal Papers first. It's like bugged, so the Lost Princess is available at the same time, when really that's a follow-up quest. So we're going to do the Royal Papers, right? So he says, with the true nature of the White Mantle revealed, it's time to restore the royal family of Kryta to power. Unfortunately, the royal family was largely destroyed during the Char invasions, and those who survived fled across the sea. It's quite interesting. I wonder where they actually went when they fled across the sea, because like you never hear about them ever again. Really weird. Anyway, so the royals, however, were known for their indiscretions, and it's likely that there are a few with royal blood in their veins who still live in Kryta. So they're basically saying there's an illegitimate child with royal blood somewhere. I had arranged for papers from the royal scribe to be brought to me so that I might examine them and find a legitimate successor to the throne. But the caravan I sent for was plundered by the Tengu in Stingray Strand, and the chest containing the papers was carried off. Will you retrieve them for me? So the Tengu, I love it actually. It's quite an innocent sort of thing, with the Tengu being the antagonist right at the start, essentially. So I'll recover the papers. Let's head on out. So yeah, I don't want to make this 100% clear. I'm not going to show this whole quest. We'll just sort of see the dialogue bits and the important bits of it. Because I've already shown you the whole quest, me doing it solo. So I really don't see the point of just rehashing content over and over. I mean, that is not what I want this channel to end up being. But I do want to point out, just be 100% clear here, these quests were available in Prophecies. What they did, what ArenaNet did, was after Eye of the North was finished, they essentially turned around and said, hey, we're going to make more content, and they looked for what would be a good story to do, and there were these 2 quests that they massively expanded on. I'll talk more about that as the Let's Play goes along. I mean, since this is episode 0, I fully expect not everyone's going to watch this. Most people will watch just from the regular old episode 1, so we'll talk about that more in the later episodes, but that's basically what we're seeing here. Think of this as just like, I don't know, like a prequel, prelude thing video. Right, so yeah, where are we going? We're going back down here. Like I said, I'm going to cut it, guys, and I'll see you in a second when we're down there. It's not like anything's going to threaten us. I mean, it is literally just walk to the dot. These are low-level areas. Oh, beautiful. Man, I've missed Kryta. These areas are so cool. They're some of my favourite. Maybe I just like beaches. That's probably what I like most. I just like beaches. That's why I love the Mitani Keys over in Nightfall so much as well. Alright, so here we are, guys. Loads of Kuromi Tengu. Kuromi tribe of Tengu. Funnily enough, the Tengu don't... I mean, there are a lot of Tengu in Kryta. And as we know, like when I was here, you might remember from the original Prophecies Let's Play, when we were here, I talked at length about the Wizard's Tower that's nearby and how that could be a Tengu city. And there are a lot of Tengu around here, but they don't really play a very big role in the war in Kryta. It's very much humans v humans coming up. I mean, it's great. I do really like the war in Kryta. And now that most of Winds of Change is out, I've got to be honest, I actually think I prefer War in Kryta to Winds of Change, to be perfectly honest. There's just so much to see and do here. It's brilliant. And, you know, this is stuff as well, if you guys are playing along because you want to play Guild Wars 2 and learn about the world. And if you're playing along with me because you want to fill up your Hall of Monuments, obviously you do have to complete the War in Kryta to get 50 out of 50 points in your Hall of Monuments, because you need the end game weapons you get from the end here, the Oppressor weapons. So, this should be pretty fun. Right, so we're going to come over here, lots of Kuromi. Here's a chest, the chest we want. Let's grab it. There we go, and inside are the Royal Scribe's papers. Simple enough. We want to return to the Fisherman's Haven. And Watchman Arad says, you retrieved the papers. Good work. I'll start examining these immediately. He gives us some skills. Oh, skills from quests. Brilliant. Okay, thanks. I found something. An entry in the scribe's journal notes that the king often visited one of the priestesses in the Temple of the Ages. Later, the woman gave birth to a daughter named Salma, who was granted special dispensation from the royal treasury. The king always did take good care of his children, legitimate or not. This woman could be exactly who we're looking for. She has ties to the true gods as well as royal blood. This is a reference, of course, to King Doric and how the royalty are all sort of descended from him. I'm certain that the people would follow her if only she would consent to take the throne. You can travel lightly and quickly, Matt. While I make preparations to mobilise the Lion Guard, you could go speak with her. Will you help me once again, my friend? Sure, I'll go to the Temple of the Ages. This is actually the quest that introduces most players. If you're actually following the Prophecy storyline and just doing quests, this is the one that would actually take you to the Temple of Ages, which is quite hilarious because most people just get runs from Lion's Arch there. But yeah, this is why in lore, when you reach the Temple of the Ages, you can speak to some of the guys that are here and ask them about the White Mantle, and they basically openly say, oh, they're blasphemers, they're all wrong, right? Despite the fact, if you were here in Kryta before actually completing a lot of the missions and came straight here, that would be like massive spoilers. But yeah, so we're going to come over here. And you will find this woman here, Salma. This is the princess. When the quests first came out, she was just using a generic sort of Krytan female NPC model. And when they started releasing War in Kryta stuff, they completely updated her model. And like I say, she's going to be a huge character in the episodes to come. So we'll speak to her and say, it's hard to know how to react to all of the recent troubles. Did you need my help with something? Yes, I know about my heritage. My father, the king, was always very kind to me. But when the Char attacked, he abandoned my mother and all the people of Kryta in their hour of need. Now you want me to take his place? How can I know if I'll have the strength to lead where he did not? It's a difficult thing you ask of me, and I am uncertain. Still, if I am the only hope for the Krytan people, then I must trust in myself. Tell Watchman Arad that I will meet with him. I will do what must be done. So she actually agrees to come with us. However, in the storyline, obviously, this happens in the events of Prophecies, and the war in Kryta takes place a year after Eye of the North, and Eye of the North is like 7 years after Prophecies. So there's actually an 8-year gap. She agrees to do this here, but she doesn't actually. She does sweet FA for the next 8 years. So she will take the throne. This is excellent news. I will mobilise the Lion Guard and prepare an escort for her. It will take much work, but Kryta will be reborn. I cannot thank you enough. If only others exhibited the same courage and honour as you, the White Mantle would never have gained control of Kryta. Alright, so we can extend that, get Edge of Extinction. Nice skill, actually. Alright, so there you go. That's those 2 quests. The only other thing I'll mention in like this prequel kind of setup story episode thing, the only other thing I'll mention is, of course, in Prophecies, we end up nearly exterminating the race of gods that the White Mantle were worshipping. They were worshipping the Unseen Ones, the Mersat, who at the end of Prophecies, we basically annihilated. There are some left, as we know, as we saw in Eye of the North, but they're mostly gone. However, there is a big war going on. Remember, we met Livia in Eye of the North and how she was talking about how she was seeking the Asura to find weapons to fight in the war and give them an upper hand and all that kind of stuff. So that is basically the story so far. That's what's going on in Kryta. There's a big war and Salma is going to try and rise to the throne. So there you go, guys. That's this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow for the real episode 1 where we start checking out the new content and really getting our hands dirty with it. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. And yes, we'll be on Peter, don't you worry about that. We won't be seeing much of Matt for is this lost? Oh no, we'll see Matt a lot in the dungeon series, so never mind about that. But yeah, okay, so cool, we'll be on Peter next time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.